Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf, and today I'm going to be talking about the books I would like to read in October. This is the first time in a while that I have made any TBR. I've typically just been picking up whatever books that I feel like reading. And I think for the most part that the books that I have picked out are things that I'm in the mood for. Some of them I picked up to fit a certain theme, and some of them I was just like, I just really want to read those right now. I figured since, it's around Halloween time, I would try to read some horror novels, and I have a few picked out. It's not my entire TBR, and somehow I started this TBR off pretty small, but it seems to have grown. Yeah, this typically happens to me, but there's kind of a reason. I don't think it'll be too bad because I think most of the books that I'm going to talk about are either manga. I think I have like 4 mangas and 1 comic, and then the rest are books. I'm going to start off with books that don't currently have sequels. These are just some books that I would like to read, but it's not going to be a huge deal if I don't get to them. So the first one that I have is The Good Little Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. I've been meaning to read this for way too long now. I have heard amazing things about this, and it's not usually my cup of tea, mostly because it's a Western. It's like Western fantasy. I've never read anything that's Western before, but people have said that it reads almost like a TV show or a movie, and it's really exciting. Really want to get to it. The sequel doesn't come out until next year, but I still really want to read this, so I'm gonna do my best. Reading's been a little iffy, but I brought it with me when I packed up all the rest of my books because I was interested in it. So we're gonna see if I have the time for this one. And the other book that I would like to get to, if I have enough time, is Word Girls by Tochi Onnobuchi. This is a sci-fi fantasy, I'm pretty sure, and this one is another one that came out last year. The sequel for this one is coming out this month, and I want to read this because I meant to pick up a physical copy, and I hope I love this so I can also get the sequel, even though I really can't afford it right now. But eventually I would want to get a finished copy of this as well as the sequel if I love this one. So these two are kind of, if I have enough time, I'm really hoping that I do so I can get to both of these. The next 2 books that I have that I'm going to mention are both sequels to books that I have read or am currently reading at the end of September. The first one being Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Like I said, this is a sequel. I think I have the first book over here next to me. This is a sequel to Aurora Burning, and I just did a reread of that one so I can get to this. And the other sequel that I would like to get to in October is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm not sure how well you can see that because this cover is really light or white, but there is a close-up of that. This is the sequel to From Blood and Ash. And then I'm going to move into horror books. Don't really have that many of them, but I figured I do have a couple, so I would try to get to them. So I have Hoard by Katrina Leno. This one just came, I think, in the most recent Outcrate box. I probably honestly wouldn't have picked this up if it didn't come in Outcrate, but since it did, I want to get to this. The next book that I have, I'm pretty sure that this one is not horror, but it fits along with the Halloween type theme, and that is Witchy by Ariel Slamit Reese, or Rise. Not quite sure how you say that. This one also came in an Outcrate box. This was like a second book, and this one is a comic. So it's a little thicker than most comics that I read, but because it is a comic and it looks like it's a picture heavy comic, it shouldn't take me that long to get through this one at all. So I'm going to try this one out and hopefully I enjoy this one. Next, I have 2 volumes of a manga series, and I'm pretty sure that these are horror, but I have Happy Sugar Life Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Tomoyaki Kagisora. I do have 3 other books that I don't have physically that I wanted to talk about. One of them I do have an ARC. I thought I packed it up with me, but it's not with the books that I have here. So clearly it's packed up with the rest of my books. But that is Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. I don't know if this one is specifically horror. It might be more mystery thriller, but I think it has something to do with some type of ghost story. And then the last 2 that I have are both mangas that I received on NetGalley. The first one is Weathering with You Volume 1 by Makoto Shinkai. And the last book that I have to talk about in this TBR is Blue Period Volume 1 by Tsubasa Yamaguchi, and this one comes out October 6th. That was the last book that I have on my TBR for the month. Like I said, it ended up being more than I was expecting, but 5 of them are manga and a comic, so those should take me not too much to get through, and we'll see about the rest of them. Let me know if you guys have read any of the books that I talked about, what you thought about them. Also, let me know what you are planning to read in October if you have anything set out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell if you would like to know when I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.